This is a test.
And what is up, everybody? My name is Alex, and I want to welcome you to another episode of Grass in Class. And today we're gonna be talking about the gnats. How to get rid of those little gnats and those little fruit flies that live in our soil and in our cocoa without using any chemicals, no chemicals whatsoever, in order to get rid of a lot of the pests that dwells in our soil.
You unlock this door, the key of imagination. Beyond it is another dimension. A dimension of sound. A dimension of sight. A dimension of the mind. You're moving into a land of both shadow and substance. Things and ideas you just crossed over into. The twilight zone. The twilight zone.
And now that you are hypnotized, you will feel like clicking that like button and hitting that bell and subscription. And now I will release you back to your body.
This is some of the products that I've used before. The 7, the SNS, some of you guys may know, and a cheaper version is this mosquito dunks. You basically just break it up in the water and you could put them out in a pond and it prevents from mosquitoes and stuff like that from propagating. Now, I wanted to take a different approach, and I wanted to get rid of those gnats without my plants having to ingest some of those waters or fertilizers that I might be putting into the soil in order to eliminate the gnats. So I definitely came up with a way. I've tried this and I know 100% that it works. However, it seems to work on fabric pots a little bit better, being that there's no holes on the bottom of the pots where the gnats could lay eggs and so on and so forth. And without further ado, I present to you diatomaceous earth. It's definitely my number one and my go-to when it comes to eliminating, or at least putting an impact on the population of gnats that lives in your garden. Now, this to me is the least abrasive way that I have found to eliminate those pesky gnats. And what is diatomaceous earth? Well, it's pretty much just crushed fossils from diatom. And how this chalky powder works, it's basically an abrasive material when it comes to coming in contact with the bug's exoskeleton. As soon as they touch it, they pretty much start to get dry and they potentially end up dying. Now, since we're going to be spreading this all on the top of our soil, we have a huge impact right away with controlling a population of gnats, depending on how far your infestation has gone. And also, I will say this, I've noticed that it definitely works best when it's dry. So one thing that I like to do is to water my plants really thoroughly the day before and allow that top layer of the soil to get a little bit less damp. Therefore, when I apply the diatomaceous earth, it doesn't clump up and it allows it to spread evenly and still be fluffy. And now I grabbed this tool a while back and I didn't know what it was until I did some research. It's called a plumpus. So you grab the plumpus and you squeeze the dingle pops and the schleams open, as you can see here. So this enables us to spread the diatomaceous earth more evenly. And I will give you a demonstration right now. Dunking the plumpus in the diatomaceous earth, we give it a little shake, get the dingle pops off, and then we just schleam it all over our pots, like so. Now please, I'm also kidding about the names and stuff. Don't be Googling what a plumpus and a dingle pop and schleam is. Please don't do that. Now I have heard from growers that gnats do not do any damage to the root system of a plant. However, me myself personally, I do not like to see any gnats in my finished product or in my flower. Therefore, I just go ahead and before anything ever dreams of getting on my soil, they have to go through the diatomaceous earth first. And no bug likes to walk on diatomaceous earth, being that it's kind of like sharp glass, or giving you kind of like a perspective of what it would be like for a bug to be trying to nest in these conditions. But so far, loving it. Would not go back. I don't lay sticky traps because, well, that is just to determine what kind of bugs you have in your garden. And me, I keep 0 around. And this way is pretty effective. Now, I don't have to do this every time. I probably do this once a month, maybe twice a month. And it keeps my garden super clean. I'll be lucky to find one gnat flying around. Now, once you have laid down your diatomaceous earth, you really want it to be there for as long as possible, or as long as, well, your plants are going to get thirsty sooner or later. So what I like to do is, first of all, make sure that it is working, and give the pots a couple of taps here and there just to make sure is there any gnats flying out. And from the looks of it, it's working really good. Not that I had any gnats, but as a preventative maintenance, I like to see 0 movement in my soil, and so far so good. So the next step is to go ahead and just run my fingers through the pots. And this is just to keep the diatomaceous earth from sticking to each other and clumping up once I start watering. And there you have it, my friends. This is an easy way I keep gnats out of my garden, or at least keep them under control. And also remember that any bug that comes in contact with the diatomaceous earth could potentially be harmed or killed. And I also want to remind you that no bugs were harmed or killed during the making of this video. Again, guys, thank you so much for joining me and making it all the way through this video. Until next time, peace.